Tom Pidcock is one of the hottest young riders on the block, but if you weren't following him in his early years, you might not have seen his meteoric rise coming. So that you can join in the next time your friends are arguing over who's the best cyclocross turned road rider of the generation, we're going to show you 5 times Tom Pidcock shocked the cycling world before he was famous. The 2017 British National Circuit Championships was billed as a competition between some of the biggest pro crit riders in the UK. The front row had John Mould, who would go on to take silver at the Commonwealth Games, Ed Clancy, a multiple world champion and Olympic gold medalist, and a host of professional riders. Up against them, Tom Pidcock was a junior rider with no team. After nearly 15 minutes of rapid riding, a break of 4 got away. But with no representation, Pidcock was relying on his own strength and the brains to follow the stronger teams.
The attacking force, and there we go.
Well, as anticipated, and you did mention it, and here it comes. And wait till you hear the cheer as Tom Pidcock starts to put the cat amongst the pigeons. He likes the look of that one. Baton goes clear, at least a couple of
That group continued to swell, but the escapees slowed and allowed the bunch to rejoin with 4 laps remaining. JLT Condor and Madison Genesis drove the pace, hoping to set it up for either Briggs or Tobin Horton in a bunch sprint. Surely the young Tom Pidcock couldn't spoil their party.
The fastest and the perhaps most technical and difficult corner on the course. Charging up the hill, here comes Pidcock on the left hand side. We wait to see as the shot changes. Tom Pidcock goes for glory. The young junior is really putting it up as John Mould struggles to stay in the wheel. Harry Tanfield sitting in 3rd place at the moment. Tobin Horton and Graham Briggs are well to the fore as well. Through the final right-hander, into the left-hander. The crowd cheer, the crowd roar. Can Tom Pidcock possibly bring this home? He's first around the final bend. Through into the final 150 metres. Can anyone possibly get round this young junior? Pidcock leads it home. Pidcock wins the National Circuit Race Championship. There's nothing to stop him. Extraordinary result, extraordinary athletic ability, and Tom Pidcock is...
The Tour Series is the ultimate test of raw power and bike handling skill. They're fast, technical criterium circuits, carefully chosen to be as challenging as possible. Throw in the most motivated riders from the British peloton and a baying mob on the other side of the barriers, and you've got yourself a spectacle. The Durham round of the Tour Series takes place on roads first built 1,000 years ago in the heart of an Anglo-Saxon city, but it could have been tailor-made for Tom Pidcock. Hotly tipped before the race, Pidcock was initially a part of a small group of riders, but he soon forged on alone. Torrential rain and hail soaked the circuit, making an already challenging circuit extremely difficult for the riders. Everyone except Tom Pidcock, that is. He looked like he had the strength to win, but then, disaster struck. A puncture when the gap was only a few seconds.
I'm just interrupting you. I do apologise for actually seeing a bike change there for Tom Pidcock. And look at that, folks. He's put our hands together for him. That was a cyclocross bike change if ever I've seen one. He literally ran into the pits, off the bike, straight back right, must have been.
John Heraty's team, JLT Condor, was one of the most underrated in the world. A 3rd-tier professional team capable of going toe-to-toe with World Tour riders and winning. In 2018, they were stamping their mark on the UCI's continental pro cycling scene. They would take Commonwealth Games medals, stages in the Tour of Japan and New Zealand Cycle Classic, and the overall at the Tour of Normandy. But on a spring day in northeast England, they met their match in the young Tom Pidcock. The Otley cycle races have an enviable list of winners. Steve Cummings, Lizzie Deignan, Mark Cavendish and Adam Blythe to name a few. It's the race that every crit rider wants to win. Tom Pidcock has won bigger races, World Championships, an Olympic title, a tour stage, but he's also Yorkshire through and through. Imagine racing in your hometown with the form of your life in the heart of Yorkshire's pro cycling scene. You'd want to win that, right? With 8 laps to go, Charlie Tanfield, Pidcock and Ian Bibby were ripping the race apart from the front. In the closing stages, Matt Holmes, who would go on to sign for Lotto Soudal, had a small gap, but he was brought back with just 1 lap to go. In a breathless finish, Tom Pidcock couldn't quite make it to the line first, But as he pushed to make up positions on the final corner, he showed us why he's one of the best bike handlers in the world.
Tom Pidcock knows he needs to be in this corner first or second. Who's it going to be? It's Downing on the outside. Pidcock, is there enough room to get around that corner? Just, Downing comes down. Big crash there from Russell Downing. As we look to the front, we've got Pidcock. Whoa, that was an incredibly fast finish. We need to look at this. As you can see, Pidcock comes round the outside. Big bomb up the outside. It looks like, yep, Russell's just having to brake so hard there. You can see his front wheel wash out and then straight at the barriers. He knows what's coming. Straight down, but so lucky that no one else.
It's winter 2019 and Tom Pidcock is racing with the big boys at the Elite National Cyclocross Champs in his first cross season out of the junior category. The Yorkshireman was favourite thanks to already being both World Cyclocross and Time Trial champion in the junior ranks, but the step up to the seniors has caused problems for many a talented rider before. Well, it didn't for Tom Pidcock. From the second lap, it was pretty clear who that National Championships jersey was going home with. Lap after lap, Pidcock pulled out his advantage, eventually crossing the line over a minute ahead of second place, his now Ineos Grenadiers teammate Ben Turner. If we're being honest, Pidcock taking the British bans wasn't a massive shock to the cycling world, but what it did do was put a mark next to his name. It's one thing being dominant in the junior ranks, it's another doing it with the seniors. And while the result wasn't a surprise, it was the celebration that was the beginning of Pidcock the showman. Crossing the finish line first in Kent, he adopted what can only be described as a Superman position.
Pure skill and technique that is beyond his years. Tom Pidcock, is he going to pull the wheelie? No, he's going to get off, he's going to fly across the line. Pidcock is the national champion.
Superman, superhuman, super Tom Pidcock. It's hard to pick one moment to define Pidcock. He's an enigma, a new breed of racer who is simultaneously a throwback to another era of cycling, a time when riders did everything. The Tour, the classics, the monuments, cyclocross, road or MTB, everything is a target for him. The only question is, after winning a stage in his first Tour de France, what next for the young man from Yorkshire?